It's a big concern for a lot of people that when we come to college so early, we're kind of giving up our childhood. And we're giving up our chance to kind of stay at home and dream and play and stare at the ceiling and watch the leaves blow around. But if you get disillusioned with junior high school and with the lack of learning, if you get bored, you don't get a lot of enjoyment out of life. And this experience has really given that enjoyment back to me, I think.
Erin Earle is a successful college student. Majoring in music, piano, and computer science, Erin is about to graduate. Her grade point average is higher than most of her fellow students. Her prospects bright. What's unusual about Erin is her age. She's only 18, the age of most college freshmen. That's because Erin is an early entrance student at the University of Washington's Robinson Center for Young Scholars. The Halbert and Nancy Robinson Center for Young Scholars sets the international standard for academically talented adolescents' early entrance to university. Each year, some of the brightest students in Washington enter the University of Washington after 7th, 8th, or 10th grades in a large company of their peers. The center's carefully crafted programs take into account students' social, emotional, and intellectual needs, and support them as they discover and express their unique talents and abilities.
Too many kids turn off when they're very young because they're in educational systems, both public and private, that really don't believe in providing the kind of academic challenge that very bright students absolutely have to have. And so what happens is that the kids turn off, oftentimes as young as 2nd and 3rd grade.
I was bored in middle school and lacking challenge, and this really had a detrimental effect on my studies and in my life in general. I got bored, got frustrated with school, with my social life, with my parents even, caused a lot of family havoc.
You know, I had a lot of good friends in middle school, but I was looking for a more intense environment, and this really fit what I was looking for. I was really enthusiastic, and when I came in for my day of visiting and then the interview, I was really sad when I left because I was like, this is the greatest program ever, and what if I don't get in? And I was ecstatic when I found out that I did.
It creeps all over the house. I find it hovering in the dining room, skulking in the parlor, hiding in the hall, lying in wait for me on the stairs. It gets into my hair.
The Robinson Center programs include Transition School, where middle school-age students spend a year preparing for early entrance to college. The center also offers an academy for young scholars who enter the university after their sophomore year of high school.
This is a laser altimeter.
Summer programs at the Robinson Center offer advanced educational opportunities for 5th and 6th graders as well as high school students.
A lot of the problems I faced in high school are gone. This is the first time I've ever been happy in school.
It just expands your mind a lot more than you would ever think.
Basically, this program taught me to learn and to research and to be a much better student.
Each year, 16 special middle school-age students enroll in the University of Washington's early entrance program. They find themselves in an intensive one-year program called Transition School, or TS. Essentially, it's a one-room schoolhouse taught by an exceptional faculty.
And it is in an ellipse.
Skipping 4 or 5 years of high school is not easy. So we want to make sure that the student is really motivated to do this.
The Robinson Center holds an open house every January to give prospective students a glimpse into the world of early entrance.
Getting into transition school is extremely competitive. We have about 200 applicants a year for 16 positions. We want kids to be motivated, eager to learn, curious, self-disciplined. We want them to be teachable, which means that they're not resentful when they're pushed. We want them to have a certain humility, not the kind of arrogance that suggests that they know everything and no one else has anything to teach them. We also want them to be excellent students.
The atom bomb was a creation that unquestionably shaped the lives of the people in the 20th century. Though we have seen a glimpse of these horrors in the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, who knows what could have happened if the Cold War had turned out bloody, if conquests had continued into Asia, if the war had continued in the East.
We teach the students history, English, physics, pre-calculus, and there's an ethics class. And they take all of those 5 classes, the first 2 quarters in the program. The third quarter, spring quarter, physics and ethics drop out so that the students can register for a university class. So we can see how they do as an independent scholar at the university before they move on as a fully matriculated student.
The transition school has as its philosophy a practical approach to educating these young scholars. The goal is not to cram 4 years of high school into one, but rather to emphasize the skills and knowledge needed to excel at the college level. That, plus exposure to the great ideas and minds throughout the ages, makes for motivated, intellectually curious, and college-ready students.
Romantic poets, they felt that those who were insane were closer to nature.
The experience of that year is just extremely overwhelming because the amount of work, first of all, that you have to do is 4 to 6 hours a night. The level of work in all classes is far above anything you've done before. So you have to teach your mind sort of to rethink how to approach even learning.
If you have the right motivation, then you will get through it because you're the one that got yourself into it. It's not, well, got yourself, well, it's like you're the one that wanted to do it. So sometimes when I get stressed out or something and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, it's just too much work, I'll just be like, oh wait, it's this as opposed to 4 years of doing absolutely nothing.
Well, TS definitely has been like the hardest year of my life so far. And it's not unmanageable. That's like the key thing, I think. It's just late nights and stuff. There's always the weekend where you can catch up on sleep. And it's a good kind of hard because usually you get bored if you're not pushed to like your full extent, and they really make you go higher than you ever think you could have gone.
I am certain that they do everything they can to give you more homework than you can reasonably accomplish, which gives you an option: go insane or live with it.
There are a lot of parents who really want their kids to do a program like this, but unless the student wants to do it, the student is not going to be able to handle the stress because it's a very stressful year. The student has to do the homework.
One of the strengths of this program is that it's a very supportive atmosphere. No one competes with anyone else in this program. Once, if you're accepted this program, you're all in it together.
It isn't all work and no play at transition school. The students engage in all kinds of activities that teenagers enjoy. Socializing and making friends is just as important as it is for any middle school age student.
The greatest difference I noticed from the high school social atmosphere was the complete lack of any hierarchy socially. There were basically 15 automatic friends when you walked into that room the first day, and you really had to get to know them because you were going to be stuck with them every day for the next year.
If you are judged here, it's based, on your thoughts and your ideas, more than what kind of shoes you're wearing or who you're dating.
You don't have to worry about trying to fit in because, EPers really respect people's quirks. And I think the most important thing, what people look for in a fellow EPer is wittiness and being natural and that sort of thing. And that's really nice.
I was very, very, very shy. I know. Still am to an extent, but here I actually feel that I am somewhat welcome.
Most of these kids have been profoundly lonely because they've been so isolated. They come here and suddenly they're surrounded by 16 kids in their transition school class who are just like them, as quirky and individualistic and eccentric as they are. And when they get into the early entrance program, they've got upwards of 70 students who are undergraduates at the university at any given time. And so I think that, for the first time, makes them feel normal.
I feel a lot less alienated here than in middle school, just because everybody accepts me a lot more.
It's kind of like we're all brothers and sisters almost because we annoy each other. It's like inevitable. We're just like, oh, I can't stand that person. But that blows off in like a couple of days. So we're just all like a big family, no matter how like cliched that is. It's true.